you just said it. A lot's changed. One of the things that you are going to be doing, ArcadeMania. It's No Vega presents ArcadeMania on March 29th. Not the match you would expect you to be in. It's going to be classic gaming, pro wrestling, sort of a hybrid event. The advertised talent is going to be playing video games with some of the people there. So how much of a gamer are you, like in real life?
So I mean, I stopped playing games a long time ago, but I grew up playing like retro games, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, especially Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. I'm a pretty efficient at it actually, and I live in LA, and we host tournaments all the time. Like Noe Vega, the promoter, he has the machine at his house,
Hmm.
so we host tournaments all the time. I think I'm like top five in LA in the LA League, whatever. So that's why Noe was like, "Hey man, we should just run events." And he's a club promoter, and he runs shows all over the world. He's one of the first club promoters to host parties in like Iceland and Denmark. He actually lives in Denmark half the year.
Okay.
And he's a big Mortal Kombat fan too. And me and him started, and he's a big wrestling fan. And a lot of wrestlers. He used to be roommates with LA Knight actually. So he knows a
Oh,
bunch of the boys, and he knows wrestling. He knows wrestling very well. And we came up with this idea, and it's kind of like a well, he came up with this idea. It's kind of like an ultimate meet and greet, right? Where you get
mhm.
to hang out with some of your favorite wrestlers. Like we have 7 guys booked, and we have a bunch of other guys that's just going to rock up on the day potentially and just play video games. He had a title belt made. So what's cool about this concept is like a fan can win this belt or a wrestler can win this belt. And, he wants to have these on a monthly basis. So let's see what happens. I'm really trying to win this belt because I'm pretty decent at Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And that's the tournament we'll be playing. We'll be playing two. There'll be Mortal Kombat 2 and then the WWF Superstars tournament for all the people like our age. I'm sure you can remember
Mhm.
those two were some fun games.
Yeah. I might be getting my cabinets mixed up, but I think because there was WrestleMania Challenge too. But I remember Superstars. Was that the one that Legion of Doom was like the unlock team? I think if you
That
got to the end, I can't remember because there was
I think that's the one. That was WrestleFest. That might have been WrestleFest.
okay.
That's the popular one. Like we've been trying to get that machine. It's impossible to find that machine. Like I know he has a few machines at his house, and we have a
Mhm.
few machines that we play on here, but like some of the machines are so hard to find. And I think that one is WrestleFest is super hard to find.
Yeah, and original too. One of my friends
Yeah.
that's a promoter, I think he has one at his store in New Jersey. That's a pretty cool thing he has going on to get into his store if you're a fan. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I'll definitely that's good to know because we know a couple of stores that have like the Final Fight machine and the old Street Fighter, and we're gonna be holding these events everywhere. Like whoever wins this belt, if a fan wins it, he's gonna fly them out to the next event to kind of like defend the title. So I mean, he's already booked shows in Vegas and I think one in Miami, and like he's gonna do these all over. So this is he's from Hollywood, right? So
mhm.
it just made sense that the first one is in our backyard since WrestleMania is here this weekend in
Yeah.
LA.
You also have, I believe it's the same day, you're going to be wrestling for Pandemonium Pro. Uh, Normally I would close with this, but any other appearances you're going to be doing this week since it is close to home that you want to plug
Yeah,
right now?
uh, WrestleCon is coming up, and it's at the Biltmore Hotel downtown, which is like a block away from where I live, which is perfect.
Mhm.
I was actually thinking of taking the arcade game. I was telling Noe, I was like, "Hey, do you think you can drop the arcade machine there so we can have like, depending on who wins the belt,
Mhm.
the day after and the day after, we can even have that guy or the fan defend the belt, whatever." We're still kind of talking about that. Most of the booths are sold out at WrestleCon, which is amazing. But we might just
Mhm.
piggyback of one of the guys that we know. I mean, we all know the guys at High Spots,
Yeah. I mean, that would certainly be something to draw your attention. You will see a big arcade cabinet being wheeled in. So
right? And the championship belt, and the champion like just hanging out. Whoever can beat the champ gets the belt.
exactly. You, I think, have had two matches since this happened, but I remember seeing you on Impact last year. That was, I think you made it to the semifinals of that. I can't remember the tournament, the X Division
Yeah,
tournament.
that's right.
So Haven't seen too much of you there, but was that always supposed to be a one-off? Was it just for that taping? Like, did you ever have any talks about returning?
Yeah, we did the talks kind of like went nowhere, but I did do the tournament, and whenever they do tournaments like that, I'll be involved in that. But other than working a full-time schedule with them, like we haven't really like solidified anything yet. But I mean, I'm still talking, and I'm talking to a few other companies, and we'll see. It's kind of like a really weird time in wrestling and in the world right now, where everything just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it just feels like everything's kind of like up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason I brought it up is I watched an interview with Santino Marella recently, and he said you and JTG are two names that he would really like to see come back. I think in JTG's case, it would be a debut, but he said, you two would be the two names he would really like to see involved with the company. So that's kind of why I was figured I'd ask, if anything were to come
Yeah,
from
yeah.
it.
And then I did those shows before he made his debut actually, and then a
Yeah.
couple of weeks later I found out that he was gonna, and he thought I was there, so he kept texting me. He was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be at this show. Where are you?" I'm like, I only did the once off in Vegas, but I mean, and then he was like, "Oh wow, don't worry, I'm gonna put in a word now that I have some pull or whatever." Like he he
He's the
knows what he
director of
likes.
authority now.
Exactly, exactly. So I mean, I'm still kind of talking. I mean, event. I got him on the last minute. We got him onto the ArcadeMania show. So he says he's pretty good at Mortal Kombat too. So we'll see.
Uh, I guess you'll find out. Maybe he'll put in another good word for you this weekend. I don't know. I think Impact's going to be there for the multiverse shows. That's kind of their big contribution to WrestleMania weekend. Are you going to stick around for any of those shows since you're that close? Do you tend to watch
Oh yeah, I mean, I live in the same road as that. As where at the what's the event called
is it the Globe Theater?
the Globe? Yeah, I
Yeah.
live on South Broadway. I'm like 2 blocks away from the Globe. I can literally walk there. So I'm definitely stopping by.
Okay. Uh, that hopefully, I think the card on paper is awesome already, but hopefully it's even better than whatever expectations people have, because some of the names on that show are just crazy.
Oh yeah, it should be a fun show. I mean, it's WrestleMania, right? So like all these companies pull out all the stops, and I mean, if you've ever been to the Globe Theater, like whatever happens there, it's always a fun show.
Yeah. Nah,
LA fans are the best.
this will be my first time, so I know
Oh
that
wow.
it sort of had that reputation carry over with the PWG shows, and now this is a totally different element. But I mean, it is WrestleMania week, so I got to ask you some stuff about WWE. Obviously, you spent quite amount of time in the company as Justin Gabriel. Do you have a favorite like WrestleMania weekend moment, whether it's a match or behind the scenes, like anything you sort of just look back fondly from your time in the company?
So many, so many. Let me see if I can pull out just one for you.
If you have multiple, go
At,
ahead.
so as a kid, I always wanted to be a wrestler. When I was 8, I decided that I was going to be a full-time pro wrestler. My mom was like, I don't know, like no one from South Africa has ever made it. And I was like, well, cool. And I'll be the first, and like, so my mom didn't have a lot of confidence in me doing this. So the first time she actually saw me perform live was at WrestleMania in Atlanta. I forget what WrestleMania that was. And me and Heath happened to be the tag champs. So that was kind of cool for me.
27.
27, that's right.
Yeah.
So my mom came all the way from South Africa, first time on a plane, by the way, to see me work
Oh,
for the
wow.
first time, and it was at WrestleMania. So that was kind of cool. She was so overwhelmed. She was like, "Wow, I didn't know wrestling was this big."
Like, yeah, I was trying to tell you, Mom, this is what I meant to do. All right. So continuing on that, I usually do a watch list feature. I'll ask you for your match picks. Obviously, I feel like you just gave one. So if you have another one as Justin Gabriel, and if you have one as PJ Black, that just because he's sort of worked completely different styles, different names, different characters. Uh, Anything stand out from either chapter in your career under either of those names?
Wow. So Justin Gabriel, one of my good accomplishments was I remember when Edge retired as the world heavyweight champion. Justin Gabriel was the last guy to defeat him on TV, but obviously now he's back, so that record has been nullified. But still, it was a good little run. It was good, little fun. I wish I could have done more with that, but I mean, I was only Justin Gabriel for what, 7 years? I've been PJ Black for 15 years. The goal is for people to remember PJ Black. I think everything that I've done in ROH as PJ Black, I think was pretty cool. The two really good matches I had with Bandito was fantastic. They're somewhere on YouTube if you guys want to check that out, or on ROH Honor Club or whatever. But they are on YouTube. Those were really really cool. Um, wow, me and Flip started doing some cool fun stuff towards the end of the ROH thing before it
Mhm.
kind of like collapsed and then rebranded. I'm not even sure. I've been trying to keep up with what they're doing over there, but it looks really fun. I've been talking to them. We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I think it's this week coming is week 5 for the new Tony Khan Ring of Honor on Honor Club. So they've been getting a lot of praise for that. It's the one thing, and I just talked to Maria Kanellis about this. The one thing that people notice is it's the same studio as AEW Dark, but there's just something about it that works. I don't know if it's like the color scheme, if it's the red and the black, if it's just the brand. There's just something that works with it that
Yeah, it's the feel, right? There's so many
there's so
things, and I think they're running the Globe Theater too at the end of this month or the end of next month, actually, which is going to be fantastic. You're going to see a whole different vibe to that whole show.
you brought it up. Can you say anything about what you would come in for? Because earlier you mentioned, doing a full-time gig is maybe not something you're interested in. Would this be another like set of tapings? Can you say anything about
Yeah,
what?
that's all I'm doing right now. That's all I'm doing right now is just tapings here and there. I've been in talks with all the companies. I mean, I can't say too much about it, but then everyone's like going this way and then going this way, and it's Mania season, right? So everyone's kind of just like focusing on this week. I feel like once this week is over and done with, then negotiations will continue.
Okay. Anything that we covered quite a bit, and I know I mentioned the Pandemonium Pro show. Anything else that you can talk about that you want to promote before we get out of here?
Well, let's see. I mean, that day, the Pandemonium show, that same building, I think there's like 2 or 3 shows in that building too. It's a WrestleMania weekend. So like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of shows happening. I think there's a micro midget show happening on Sunset Boulevard at Whiskey Joe's. I might pop up there actually. Uh, I pitched some stuff to the promoter, some fun stuff. I don't know if I'll have time to do that actually, but we'll see. It's gonna be a fun day. ArcadeMania is on Wednesday. One of the top tier tickets is a fan will get his own entrance against one of the pro wrestlers, so it's
Okay.
a pretty surreal experience. Like we're trying something completely different, and I think most people need to see it first before they
Yeah.
sign up for something like that. But it's gonna be a fun freaking day. It's just gonna be like a hangout. It's gonna be like a super meet
Yeah.
and greet.
Yeah. It's like esports have become so popular. So it's sort of like that. Like, the production values like through the roof over there. And they took so much from pro wrestling. So it's kind of it's fitting that pro wrestling is borrowing from the video game world and using arcade games and the cabinets to, find another way to bond with the fans that you have.
Right. And I mean, I think it's such an easy crossover, right? Like a lot of younger wrestling fans are into video games, but a lot of the older guys were into like the old arcade games, like playing like WWF Wrestle Fest and Superstars and like the Street Fighter ones and Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Like it's a funny story too. I didn't know this, but the video gaming industry, the market cap is the size of Hollywood and the music industry put together.
Oh.
So it doesn't matter what genre in video games, if you're like an
Mm.
Xbox fan or the PlayStation fan or the old school retro games, or now you have this blockchain games, these online NFT games. It doesn't matter which pocket you belong to or support. The market overall market cap is so much bigger than all of entertainment around the world. So I mean, there's definitely something there.
Enjoy video games no matter what genre you like. I think people enjoy wrestling no matter what genre they like. I think everybody has
Exactly.
the common goal. Let's, put a little bow on it with some positivity. So
Yes, exactly. That's what the world needs right now, right? More positivity, more fun. Come hang out with your friends, play some video games, drink some beer.
like you said, enjoy it, have fun. Thanks for your time today. It was good catching up with you, and best of luck this week and moving forward.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. And I hope to see a lot of you guys at WrestleMania week.